Welcome back, guys. This is Metal Man with my special guest, guy that's been on the channel before.
Yo, what's up?
It's Mr. Esseme himself.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, today we're gonna talk about all the Part One Naruto fights. Well, not all of them. We're not gonna talk about like the stupid ones like Naruto versus the Snake, but we're gonna rank them all on a scale of 1 to 5 stars. So each star that matters on how important we think the fight is, how important it is, how good it's choreographed, how good it's animated, and how big of importance it is to the story. We're not doing filler. We're not doing stupid ones. Like I said, we're not doing Naruto versus the Snake because no one cares about that. And if you do, rank them yourself.
Down in the comments type shit.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you rank Naruto versus the Snake. So let's start with the first fight: Naruto versus Mizuki slash also Aruka. So if you want to add Aruka to this part too, where do you rank this fight?
I don't want to be that person, right? I've said this before. It's technically the most important fight because without it, nothing happens. But that's not really how it's being ranked. Because it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, sure, it's important, but that's like saying like, oh, it's technically the most important fight. It's kind of being like annoying about it. So
yeah,
I'm kind of like just pushing that aside. It's a one. Let's be honest here. It's
yeah. It's a
it's a
one.
pilot fight. It's not gonna be interesting. No pilot fights are the best fight or even a good fight for that matter. So yeah, it's a one.
And if it is, that means your show's just ass. Anyway, but yeah, I agree. I think it's a 1 star as well. I think the fight is important, but like it doesn't like half of it. Actually, the main part of it takes place off screen, so we don't get to see Naruto beat up Mizuki. So it's like, why do I care about this fight? But yeah, it's a 1 star.
The next fight is Naruto and Konohamaru versus Ebisu. So what you got on
All
this one?
right, another half star. I'm gonna put it as a half star. It's barely
Okay.
a fight.
I think I put it as a one just to be nice. Cause what's it called? Cause Ebisu I guess is a little more important later. I think they expand on him.
Yeah, but like you don't really need this introduction because nothing about this introduction adds to his character later on. Like he can literally just be introduced in the tuning exam, and not much changes.
Yeah, it also holds Konohamaru and the all-star Konohamaru take I've ever had is Konohamaru should have been a one-off character, and the fact that he's here in a fight is solidifies him, and I don't like that.
He should have been on one episode. You see, he should have only been in one chapter.
Yeah, and they're just gone because he doesn't bring anything else important later. He's just there.
Uh, no, he has the importance of of being Boruto's mentor, sensei.
Boruto is retcon. It was not supposed to exist.
But now that it does, he's important.
Oh yeah, well they found a way from him. Congrats.
He
Boruto
also
wasn't even
like
meant to
one shot at
exist.
a pain. He
Yeah,
one shot at one of the pain.
anyone could have done that. It could have been fucking Shino. Who knows? Like no one cares.
Hey man, if Shido had did it, y'all would have popped. That's all I'm saying. Y'all would have glazed the hell out of Shido if he did it.
He's
That's
like
all I'm
that. I
saying.
don't know what to say.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Because Konohamaru did it, y'all don't care. Anyway,
Exactly.
the next fight is Kakashi versus Team Seven. I'm combining all of them together because there's no reason to separate Naruto,
Yeah.
Sasuke, or Sakura's because they're all pretty much just one thing.
Naruto and Sasuke have good parts, but Sakura really doesn't. And I think that overall brings down the score.
Because like that's the issue with group fights. If two people do a bunch of the fighting and there's a third person there, they're gonna drag down the score. Because it's
Yeah.
like I have to grade it on the fight itself. If the fight is about between three people and one person literally does nothing, that's gonna drag down the fight.
And I think still, I don't think she brings us down that much because she's really only on screen for like 5 or 6 minutes without just
Yeah,
getting taken off. So I don't think she brings down the score necessarily a lot or even really at all for that matter. So I still think it's a two, but
yeah,
I don't know. There is a weak part in the fight, and I think that should be mentioned.
yeah. I think it's a two as well.
Next is Team 7 versus the Demon Brothers.
One is a 1 star.
You gave it a one, really?
Yeah, it's like it's really not really a fight. It's literally Sasuke dicked on them, and then right afterwards, Kakashi finishes them off. Like it's not really a fight; it's more like a job.
I guess. But the reason I gave it a 1.5, and the reason I said it is because, like, it does bring up some stuff that's important later. It is just set up, and that's why it's the 1.5. Because you hold the fight on its own, and yeah, it's probably not good. It's probably a one. But then you add to it, and you add, like, the setup that it gives, and the payoff that kind of adds more to the fight now that's paid off, it does give it a 1.5 to me.
The thing is that without the importance, it would have been a 0.5 to me. It would have been half a star. I gave it the one because of the importance. That's literally why it has a one. Let's see. Then we have obviously Zabuza versus Kakashi in Team 7, Part 1. I'm giving this fight a 3.5 stars. I think it's great. It drags on a little bit, and then once we get the actual like serious moment, it goes over really quickly. That's my biggest problem with the fight. Like I don't think the fight flows as well as it should.
Are you counting part 1 until he gets caught in the prison?
I'm counting the entire thing. I'm counting from Zabu from the
Oh,
moment
from
they
the
see him
start
on
to
the
the end.
tree because I don't
Okay.
think there's not a big enough. It's not a big enough difference like between Naruto because like Naruto and Sasuke versus Zabuza isn't that big of a difference.
That makes sense.
It's
Yeah.
really not.
All
Yeah.
right. I get what you're saying now. I was really confused at first when you said 3.5. I was like, what? But yeah, I can see 3.5, I guess. I still think it's not a 3.5. I think it's a 3. With that being said, I think our scale is a little bit different because anything like a 2, anything that's a 2 and above for me, I think is a good fight and like a solid fight. So that's why I give it a
Yeah.
3 because it's like I don't think it's necessarily better than some of the older like the fights going forward, but I don't think it's a 2 or even a 2.5 for that matter. I think it's like a solid 3.
I think I gave it the 0.5, the extra 0.5 for its importance because it also has serious important things. It introduces the Sharingan, introduces the teamwork aspect that Naruto and Sasuke are going to have for the rest of the series,
Yeah, that's why I gave it a
and
3.
also
I think without the
yeah.
importance,
See,
I'd have given it
give it.
2.
See, for me, I gave it the three because I think the three by itself, it's still a good. It's still a solid fight without the importance, but the importance bumps it up for me. That's what for me. So then we're doing Haku. So do you want to do Haku versus Naruto and Sasuke, or do you want to separate the two?
I think it's better just to do it together because it really is
Yeah,
one big thing when you think about it. Yeah, so I think I think it's honestly like I know it's weird, but I think it's a 2. Like again, cuz like I think a
yeah.
2 is an enjoyment level, but it's so like it's a cool fight. Like it if even if you're just talking about the Sasuke and Haku part alone, it has what like ice mirror introduction, the one-handed hand sign, and then you add Naruto to that and it's like yeah, he does some stupid shit and it's funny and it does seem like a dire situation to them. And all that's really
Mm-hmm.
good. But then you realize oh wait, they're in there for 3 episodes. Why are they in there for an hour screen time when you really only need to be there for one episode? And I think that's what kills the fight. I think if it was 1 episode, the fight would have been a 4. But the fact that it was 3 episodes, it's like no, it's it's not that good anymore because you dragged it for too long.
Here's the thing, like this has the Zabuza part one fight, but like problems, but on a bigger scale. Because at least with the Zabuza like part one fight, there's different parts of the fight. You have the first part with Kakashi. You have the second part with Naruto and Sasuke.
Mhm.
You have the third part with Kakashi getting back into the fight.
And
Here, there's only like maybe two parts of this fight. If you really want to like be generous.
yeah, and I think the problem why it takes so long is I don't remember how long it takes in the manga, but I don't think it takes this amount of time.
Yeah.
And
See,
I think it's they had
oh,
to what's it called? I think it's that they had to fill episodes and they didn't know what to
mm-hmm.
do.
Yeah. See, are we talking about the manga or are we talking about the anime fights? Because that's the real question right here. We gotta,
I'm on a personal anime thing because I'm an anime fan first, then a manga
yeah.
because
See,
that's
because
my thing.
if I'm using the manga, I still think it's like 2.5. It's not much better than the in the anime. So I'm saying, like, I think the fight's solid. I think
Mhm.
it could have been better. There's points where it could have been better.
Yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion it needed to be dragged on because there wasn't any more substance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It probably wasn't enough substance, so they had to drag it out. Because like in
Yeah,
the
which kind
manga,
of
it's
sucks.
rather, it's like I think it's like a chapter and a half there in the prison, if
Mm.
I remember correctly. Which I still gave it a 2.5 because once again, I think the problem with early, like when you have early Naruto fights, not talking about like the show itself, but like Naruto, the character specifically, because of his his limited bag, the fights do like feel like all samey.
Yeah, and another thing with early Naruto fights, just as a whole, it does feel like big move after big move, and not like this move can carry into the next, and like they don't feel as like they don't flow as well, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's because the most characters only have two flashy moves, and that's all they're allowed to do. Yeah, what's the next fight? Is
Uh,
it Zabuza versus
yeah,
Is Zabuza versus Kakashi Part 2, right? I think this fight's weaker than the first one, honestly.
Yeah, I do too, because it kind of just feels like they're just sitting there. It feels like they're just like talking to each other for half the time, and then
Yeah,
like I don't know, a little fighting happens, and then it's Raikiri time.
that's what I'm saying, and I think that's because of Kakashi's being nerfed thanks to the Sharingan, which
Mhm.
is a cool concept. But the problem is to have him in a fight immediately after. Either you negate the nerf, making it pointless, or you keep the nerf there, and it just makes the fight drag down.
Especially,
It
they
was a
could have had
lose
it be a
lose.
good character moment too. Imagine if he overcame that struggle and like was going past his limit, but nah.
Yeah, which would probably have set up more for the war arc, but that's a different conversation. But yeah, I give it like a one, maybe a two, maybe like two, maybe two.
I think I gave it a two. All right, now we're in tuning
Uh,
exams. So,
let's go. Are we doing? Let's see. Are we doing Sasuke versus Lee?
mm, yes, because it introduces Lee.
I think this is a two-star fight. I think it's solid. It does a solid job introducing Lee, showing that yes, Sasuke, you might have the Sharingan, but you ain't that guy.
Yeah,
You're
this
not that
is one
guy.
of the first we've agreed on. I agree it's a two, like a 2 out of 5 too. I mean, the only thing I really like about it is that it does show off Lee. It shows him in a subtle way where it's never explicitly said that he only knows taijutsu, but it's very heavily implied.
Like it's implied, but you can also just take it at him just holding back his like
Yeah,
not showing his real strength.
it's a good introduction. That's what I like about it.
So let's see. Then we have it's what Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura versus Orochimaru. Do you want to count also the Sasuke one on one between these two as well?
I don't think we do. It does feel like two different fights, to be honest.
Yeah, because like I don't really want. I'll just say Naruto and Sakura versus Orochimaru, or just skip that part because I don't think it's necessary
Yeah.
because they don't really do much. We can just do
Oh
the
yeah.
Orochimaru versus Sasuke fight
Skip
as a
like
whole.
skip the stuff before it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm good with that.
but yeah, I think this is another like 2.5. I think it's solid. I think the animation and the anime carries the fight because I think it's overall it's pretty simple.
I gave it a 3.5 because I love this fight like so much. It's the first fight that feels
See,
fast
that's what I'm
paced.
saying. Like, see, because I think I haven't seen the anime version in a very long time. I've only seen the manga version, and the manga
Uh,
is still great. But I think the anime really helps it out in terms of like the fight.
yeah, I think that's the difference because I'm always anime and like seeing the animation version, it's fast paced. And yeah, it is simple. I love simplistic stuff though. I love like I think I've
Yeah,
said it, like I love when anime shut up and just let you see things. So
yeah, that makes sense.
when this fight is basically just doing that, I'm always like, okay, like Kishimoto was in his bag. And like there's my editor sent it to me. But there was someone who specifically worked on the episode that this fight happened in, which is why there's the cool camera angles and all that. It's a certain person who did it and they did it really well and that's why the fight looks so cool in animation.
That makes sense. That's what I'm saying. Like, if we're going off of anime, I probably would agree it's 3.5. I'm going off of manga because it's the one I most recently see. So I'll split down the middle and make it a three for me. But yeah, Lee versus the Sound Ninja. I think it's. What do you think it is?
I give it a 2.5. And this is why I think that. Because just like the Gara thing, it shows the Sound Ninja, at least the two important ones. And it doing that sets up like, oh, they want to fight Sasuke. Okay, they might be a problem. And then like, I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know if this is like anyone else's thing, but I've always gotten the idea like, okay, yeah, they're gonna make it through. Like we're gonna see them if they don't die right here.
yeah,
So
that's what I felt too. I felt the same way when I first watched. I was like, no way they're giving these guys this much attention, and they're not going to make it to the
yeah,
next phase.
it I don't know overall because I like the Sound Ninja a lot. So I'm always gonna think this fight's cool, and I'm also always gonna think Lee's cool because Lee's just like that. So it's like yeah, them two together, it was cool. I like it.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's a 2.5 as well. I think it's a solid. It builds up Lee more. Are we doing the clone versus clone fight?
I mean, it's not gonna be ranked high for me, but I'm fine with it.
It's gonna be a one, only because
Yeah,
I think it's an underrated moment for Naruto. But yeah,
yeah, I give it probably a 1 2. It's like I don't know, the reunion part's like, oh, it's chill because we saw these guys at the start, but then you're like, oh,
yeah.
they're boring.
So next is the first prelim match, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
I give it a 2.5. I really like mainly because I like the actual like real life martial arts that Sasuke shows off in this fight.
Hmm. Yeah,
The armbar is really cool.
I don't know, he does a whole wrestling technique. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Uh, I give it a 2, just because it does seem quick. So it's like, okay, we're done with this. Okay, let's move on. I think if the fight was longer, it'd actually be worse, to be fair. The fact that Sasuke is limited to taijutsu, it kind of at least gives a sense in my head, okay, this fight's not going to be higher than a 3 anyways.
You don't think any fight with just taijutsu is gonna make it hot rank
Just
high?
just when it's Sasuke using taijutsu, it feels like a waste of potential.
Makes sense. I feel what you're saying.
Obviously, like circumstance, he has to here, but
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Shino versus Zaku is the one after this, and I have a question. Are we
Yes.
counting the Orochimaru and Kakashi encounter with this?
No, those are two separate things. I don't think that's fair to either fight.
Okay, that's good. I need to know that then. So,
Be-
with that in
yes.
mind, I would give this a 1, and
Yeah,
this
I
is
was thinking
why.
the same thing.
I only think it's good when there's the thing paired next to it, because when there's the thing paired next to it, it makes Zaku going down a lot more impactful. And when it's just on its own, it's like, okay, it's just a dumbass that fell and hurt his arm. It's not really that important to me, at least in like
Yeah, I
in
never
general.
liked Zaku, so
Yeah, Zaku, he's just a dumbass. So like I don't really care about him. I think his ability's cool, but not really much more than that.
yeah, he's all show and no cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Now Orochimaru versus Kakashi though, that's a two for me. That's a two. I think it's double.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's technically not even a fight, but I think it's a moment that can be considered one because there
Yeah.
was like build up and all that. With that being said, I think it's a 2.5, not a like a 3 or a 2, because I think the tension in the scene is really like really good for even like Naruto in general. Like early Naruto, it does sometimes like feel a little weird to me, to where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this doesn't seem that important in like the long run, but or like it doesn't seem like it's like that heavy until like I don't know near the end of tuning exams, maybe Gar versus Rock Lee, Hinata versus Neji. It feels pretty strong there, but up to this point, the Kakashi and Orochimaru was like the strongest tension I've ever felt, and that's why it's like, okay, this is like really powerful to me.
That's actually making me want to increase it to a 2.5. I kind of actually agree with you now.
Yeah, it's very like it's very strong.
Next is what's match three is not match three is what Tamari and Tenten.
No, it's Konkuro versus Mizumi, the dissect like limbs guy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That guy. A 0.5. I don't like Conqueror, and the other guy's lame. So
I gave this a 1.5 because I think it's introduction. A lot of the tuning and exams preliminaries is setup and introduction, and this
yeah,
is one of the biggest cases of it besides Tenten versus Tamari, Hinata versus Neji, Lee versus Gaara. Like this is a pretty big case of okay, we're just introducing a character because he'll be important later. And I don't know, I can respect that, especially because I think Konkuro. I actually like Konkuro. I think he's funny.
my biggest problem with Conqueror, he goes nowhere. Like they introduced him as the puppet master, and they introduced two other puppet masters after him that are just way cooler than him. That's my biggest problem with Conqueror.
Yeah, I don't think he. I think he had potential, but I also think it was potential that really didn't need to be tapped into.
That's how I feel about Conqueror, just in general. That's why I don't care about this fight because like we already kind of had this similar setup already between him, Naruto, and Gar earlier in the arc. Like for me, this doesn't add much to his character. For me,
Oh yeah, I see that. I can understand that.
yeah, yeah. Another guy, like, and maybe, and some fights can be saved by the other guy I care about, but the other guy's literally a nobody too. So,
Next fight
uh,
is Sakura versus Ino.
you've changed my mind on this fight because of your video and me and you talking about it off camera
Mm-hmm.
before. I used to think this fight was kind of mid. Now I think this fight is really solid. It is an actual highlight to the tuning exams. I
Yeah,
actually think it's a highlight. My only gripe is should have had different jutsu. I'm sorry. This is my reason why I think there should have been an arc before the tuning exams and after the land of waves because it would have gave Sakura a chance to actually improve. Like
yeah.
that's my biggest problem with this fight. Like she looks more limited than fucking Naruto, and that's the sad part.
No, well, she is.
I know, but the way they set her up is the fact that she's supposed to be above Naruto, and this fight doesn't prove that.
Yeah, I mean, I personally always got the thing that okay, she's not above Naruto when it was the bell test. I was like, okay, she's ass.
Yeah,
But
but then they still continue to make her seem like she's better than Naruto.
Yeah, what's interesting is that even though Sakura doesn't have anything really good about her, like in the fighting wise, or I don't know, let's be honest in general, like she's pretty clever with how she like fights. Like I noticed that more and more. It's like, oh wait, she's doing stuff that's like that catches people with strong, solid jutsu. She's doing this with clones. So like it shows like,
Yeah.
oh my, if she actually like if Kishimoto cared to actually write her well, imagine. That's like I think that's
See,
what
that's
that Boruto fight with her shows. Even I hate Boruto, but that fight's good.
her light novel book also showcases just how good she is.
Yeah. And I think the big thing with this fight is the emotional side. Is like it's the fact that it is like a rivalry. And although I think the emotional side is done better in two different fights in the preliminaries because it gets paired with fighting that's actually solid, it doesn't take away that this is still emotional. With that being said though,
I still give this a 3 out of 5. I don't think it's
yeah,
anything above a
it's
3.
it's nothing above a 3. It's a 3. Yeah. Okay, good. We had
Yeah.
threes there.
Yeah, it's barely above mid now. Like it didn't improve that much, but it improved. That's all I would say.
In general, like the preliminaries is like besides like I think when it hits or not Naruto versus Neji, the second it hits Hinata versus Neji, I'm like, okay, I can kind of watch this while I'm in bed.
I've made the case that the tuning exams is really top heavy when it comes to fights because most of these fights are very forgettable. Like at the end of the day,
Yeah, there's so many. It's like half the fights are in the tuning exams, and then like I don't know, half the OG Naruto fights are tuning exams fights, and then half the Shippuden fights are war arc fights. It's so
yeah,
stupid.
and that's my biggest problem with these fights. A lot of them just really like setup is fine. You can set up characters, but when every other fight is just setting up a new character,
Yeah,
these fights start to all feel the same.
10-10 versus Tamari.
1 stars.
It's crazy because
Ah,
I mean, you've given stuff half stars. I seriously think this is better than the half star stuff you've said, and I think it's actually a 1. Because I mean, I know you're more manga heavy. I'm more animation heavy. I still think like 10-10 just throwing shit's kind of cool. Like I can to preface, I think anything that's a 2 is good, and I think anything that is a 1 is still watchable, which is like
yeah.
crazy, but like
Wait. So wait, which I only gave like what 2 things half a star?
I don't remember what you gave. I think you gave the Konohamaru thing half a star. I
Yeah, I
think
did. I gave
you
the Konohamaru thing half a star, and the I gave Conqueror's match half a star. I
yeah.
gave this star a 1. I think this fight is generally better than all those.
I know you didn't give the big snake Naruto versus Snake a half star because that's just a 5. But yeah.
Of course, buddy. Yeah, of course.
It's a 5 type shit.
Nah, but I think this fight is 1 star because I generally think like I care about Samari, and then just seeing Tenzin have screen time is
Mhm.
just funny to me because she still has less screen time than the swing. That meme will forever be locked in my brain.
Next fight is Shikamaru versus Keen.
Oh, this is a 3 star for me, buddy. It's
Really?
quick, it gets to the point, but I love it. It really showcases. It's like the first time in Naruto where a fight's actually strategic. I think that's important to pick up these fights later on in the series.
I can see where you're coming from in that. Um, I think I'd give it a 2.5 though, just because I mean you said it was quick, but it's not like super quick. It's still half an episode, which is like a little insane. You could make this fight
Well, yeah.
probably a third of an episode, have 10-10 versus Tamari a third, Shikamaru versus Keen a third, and then you have the intro to Naruto versus Kiba in the same episode. But
Yeah.
I think it's a little longer than it should be. We're getting explained what Keen's jutsu is, and then you never see Keen again until she's fucking 6 feet deep. So it's like, why are we getting explained to this to this extent?
Wait,
But
Keen dies? Crazy.
insane, right?
Wait, when did she die? I always forget that she dies.
Reanimation.
Oh yeah, but that's filler. It doesn't count.
No, it's what's it called? It's for the against third Hokage.
Oh, she's one of the sacrifices for. I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
it's what's it called? It's her and Zaku. And then I don't know. Wait, is it Zaku? It might be Hayate. I don't know. I think Hayate
I
was
could have sworn it was Hayate. I thought it was Hayate and Taku. I didn't know it was Keen. But after this fight, it's Naruto's son, right?
yeah, it's Naruto and Kiba.
Oh yeah, I fucking hate this fight. This fight's a 1.5.
I gave it 1.52. It's 3 episodes. 3 episodes of like if it was 1.5 episodes, I think it would actually be like a 3 if you take out the fart joke as well. I actually don't think it'd be that bad.
I don't like this fight because of the fucking Akamaru rule. The Akamaru rule really makes me confused.
Yeah, it makes no sense, and no one can explain why it exists.
Because like he's not a ninja tool.
And it's a fucking dog. For some reason, it's just allowed to like fight. But yeah, I think we both gave this a 1.5, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's this fight's ass.
Next is
Hinata versus Neji. So we're in the good parts now.
3.5 for me.
Yeah, I got 3.5 as well. It does what Sakura versus Ino doesn't do, and it actually has interesting fighting choreography. And those two fights are actually really similar because it's like two
Yeah.
people kind of pitted against each other that really don't do anything else besides taijutsu. It's just the better version of that.
Also between two characters that are actually interesting.
I don't know. Sakura and Ino aren't really interesting at this point.
Yeah.
I think honestly after this they're a little more interesting, which is what good that fight does.
But even then, I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep it a buck with you. This is Eno's peak. He never gets any better than this. Even when Mr. Asuma dies, it's like that was more of a Shikamaru and Choji moment.
Yeah, it wasn't even like it, which kind of sucks. It should have been like an everything for that moment. Even as someone who loves Shikamaru, if that took away from some of Shikamaru's moment just to give it to Ino, I would have been fine with it.
Me too. Next is everyone's favorite fight.
Yeah, Gar versus Rock Lee. So I don't think this is a debate. What it is, I don't think anyone should be questioning what it is.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
even know if we
obviously
have to say. Like, I'm not even gonna
it's
lie.
obviously half a star, guys. Like, come
Yeah,
on,
come
man. It's like
on.
one of the worst fights in the. No, I'm just kidding. It's a 5 out of 5. Like we all know, one of like probably top 15, top 20 fight of the entire series.
Because it does everything that Hinata versus Neji does, where it's emotional, but then it ups it again, where it's like it's emotional, then the fighting is the best we've ever seen. And I said this a while ago, but the reason like this fight is so good is because this point forward, it ups the standard of what you think a fight should be because you
Exactly.
literally never see anything at this scale. The closest you get is like Sasuke versus Orochimaru, and then I guess like Hinata versus Neji, but that's really close.
But like, yeah, I think this is obviously one of like Kishimoto's best. Like the way he can mold two different characters and put their stories adjacent together without we don't even know Gaara's story yet. We can still
Mhm.
feel that him and Lee have chemistry, which is kind of insane. Like it's kind of insane to make two characters, but after this, rarely interact again, have chemistry.
Yeah, and they're like such opposites, which is like really
Yeah,
cool. I really like that. Next
three missing
is
fight.
Choji versus Dosu.
1 star, I guess.
Yeah, I got 1.5 because it's Dosu, and it's the
Yeah.
last time you see him. There's not
Hmm.
really anything to say about this fight. It's literally 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Hayate versus Baki?
Yes, because I actually think that's kind of cool.
I think Crescent Moon Dance is one of the most missed opportunities in the series.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too because it's hyped up to be super powerful just by the way Hayate uses it, and
Yeah.
then he swings his sword and then it just fucking hits the armor. Nothing happens. It's so funny.
It's never brought up again.
Yeah, I mean it technically is, but I think it's filler with the Anbu
It's
girl.
filler. Yeah, it's filler.
Yeah,
1 star, I guess.
yeah, one, but I think saying hi to or sorry, saying bye to Hayate is chill because he
What
was
ab-
shit.
what about Dosu versus Gar? Are we talking about that fight?
I think we need to.
Did
uh,
Dosu go out like a chump?
Yeah, 0 stars because Dosu dies.
Half
Um,
a star. I'm not even I'm giving it half a star because like it doesn't add anything to Dosu. It doesn't add anything to Gara.
yeah, it just exists so Dosu can be out the way and gone,
Yeah.
which is kind of sad.
Like was he supposed to face Shikamaru? Like bro, that would have been so interesting to see Shikamaru versus
I
Dosu.
know. I was like, I remember first time watching, I was like actually like really like excited for that because I'm like, oh my god, like these people are so cool. Imagine them fighting. But
Like when these two strategists against each other.
yeah,
But
I
I guess
guess
he only did it because it'd be like redundant with Tamari. But still, half a star. Moving on.
all
It's
right.
Naruto versus Neji.
So I
One of the
think
most controversial fights in the series.
yeah, I think this fight struggles with the same thing as Naruto versus Kiba, to where it's long. I think the overall substance of this fight is a lot better than Naruto versus Kiba, but it doesn't take away that's a long fight for me. With that being said, I think it's enjoyable. So I gave it a 2.5 because I'm like,
I give it a 2.
Yeah,
Because like
like
once again, this is another problem I have. Like I said with early Naruto fights, like Naruto the character because of his limited bag, like legitimately, like it doesn't seem like Naruto trained at all.
the only thing that's really interesting about this fight is the emotional. I mean, like the fighting part's
Also,
cool for the most part, but it does really
also
feel like
the
he has nothing.
debate that it caused in the community saying that Neji was right when Neji wasn't right.
It
Like
was
I'm gonna say it now, guys. I'm never making a video about it because Neji wasn't right. If Neji was right, Sasuke or Naruto should be dead currently in Boruto, and they're not. Thus, meaning that whatever Neji said in here talking about destiny is not true.
which
But
one?
it's Shikamaru versus Tamari.
Oh, okay. I have bias in this one. Three. I think it's a three. I think it's a little longer than it needs to be again, but that's kind of a running theme with Naruto
Mm-hmm.
fights. I love Shikamaru. I love Tamari. I think they're both two very interesting characters. So them fighting was amazing, and the whole like they're both strategists was really cool.
I agree. I think it's a three as well. I think I gave Keen the Keen one 3 stars as well. Yeah, I did. I like them for both two different reasons. I like that it's a longer fight. I do think it makes sense because they're both strategists, and I think it takes longer for two strategists to duke it out than a strategist versus a person that doesn't know what they're doing, like
Yeah,
Keen was.
that makes sense. That's why I'm a little more sympathetic in that regard for that as well, because
Yeah,
like it does make sense, and it's more there's more stakes.
right. Because like this is like this is like what I think it's one of the few times that two strategists actually go up against each other in the whole
Yeah,
series.
like
The next
at least where it's
time,
explicitly mentioned to like
yeah.
a high degree.
Yeah, because the next time we won't see that till Shippuden against Sasuke versus Deidara.
We kind of see it. Shikamaru versus Tayuya a little bit.
Kind of,
Not really though, but
kind
kind
of,
of.
but not really. Because Taiyo wasn't really a strategist.
Yeah, she was just kind of I think overall smart.
And now next is Sasuke versus Gaara. We're combining the two fights because I don't think it makes sense to separate the two.
Uh, hmm. I'd say a three again. I think it's Chidori is just amazing and always will be. So I'm always gonna be like, oh, this is a really cool jutsu. So I'm gonna obviously rank it higher just because I like the
Yeah,
visual of it. But I do think like it does get a little repetitive at the second half of it, where it's just, oh, I have Chidori. Okay, let's do that. Oh, I have Chidori again. Okay, let's try that again. It does seem very repetitive, and it makes it very clear that Sasuke is really only seeing that as his only move.
which is also kind of weird because also like Sasuke has also been a strategist, and it feels like they took that away
Hmm.
just to make this one jutsu cooler than cooler
Yeah,
than it had to be. Like it's still cool on its own, but like, come on, dog.
they over introduced it. It's not like
Yeah.
Rasengan where it's just one big move.
Also, it doesn't help that Naruto Lily vent because like they say, oh, he can only damage him with the Chidori, but like Naruto does it
He just kicks
without
him.
the Chidori. Yeah, kind of makes the Chidori look less cool. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
especially when the kicking him actually hit.
Yeah, or him using a paper bomb also damaged the sand, so like
Hmm.
it actually did more damage than the Chidori.
Yeah. With that being said, I think the part one of Sasuke versus Scar is a lot cooler, and I
Yeah,
think everyone
I
thinks
think
that.
yeah, I think that's the half that carries this to like a
Yeah,
2.5 for me.
I
It's the
still
second half that drags it down for me.
yeah I still give it a three overall because I like the first half a lot.
You want to talk about Naruto versus Gaara or the third Hokage versus
Uh,
Orochimaru first? Which one?
I think third Hokage versus Orochimaru. I think that's
I
fair.
think this fight is a 4 out of 5.
Whoa, really?
Yes. Until the Reaper Death Seal came. It dragged it down to a 2.5.
Okay, okay.
He was looking at me like,
Scared,
whoa, buddy.
scared the shit out of me. I was like, so I was a little scared there.
Had you in the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Eh, he did.
No, it's a 2.5. If the Reaper Death Seal didn't take as long as it did, it'd be a 4 star. Because I think this is the first time we've seen two Kage level guys go up against each other. And it's fucking insane. But then the Reaper Death Seal just drags it all the way down.
Yeah, it's like 2 episodes with a sword in his stomach. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I gave it a two because I thought pre Reaper Death Seal it was really just a three. It was interesting with the reanimation and all that. The only part that I genuinely find interesting is the reanimation, and I don't know
See,
like
I
the
like
monkey
the
and the
other
magic
stuff.
wand.
I like seeing that stuff. I like seeing Kage's fight because like we don't get to see this again until like 2 arcs later, like a little bit later.
Yeah, I guess
And even then, one of the characters is nerfed. So
two of the characters are nerfed.
yeah, so like we never get to see like full Kage level characters fight each other.
Hmm.
But if you, yeah, but I still think it's a 2.5. I think it's still cool. But you know what? I actually think it's a 4. Naruto versus Gaara.
I agree with that. I think that's a pretty fair judgment.
I think outside of Rock Lee and Gaara, this is the best fight in this section of the story.
Yeah, and there's no really debating that because like I don't know. I'm someone who doesn't like when there's two big characters fighting each other or even one big character
Yeah,
because I think it drags down making one character feel really sloppy. I think here when Naruto does it, not a whole lot really. I mean they do it next arc, but like that's kind of besides the point because there's so much fights in between where it's like it's nimble characters, small characters
yeah.
fighting. I can accept it when it's like a summoning, and I think in this specific moment they made it really cool, especially because there's a moment where Naruto has a decision to transform into anything, and he chooses the fox as like a way to show like I accept myself. I think that's really powerful, and like having that shown,
Mm-hmm.
like it really speaks to Naruto as a character,
I was saying
along
like
with just
that's
speaking to the
like
fight.
This fight is probably like the sec. This is probably like one of the most important fights in Naruto's as a character
Hmm.
because it lets him showcase that yeah, I could have went down the same path as you, but I'm not the monster that everyone else thinks I am.
Yeah.
I am Naruto Uzumaki.
Yeah, like saw Gaara unwillingly became Shukaku, and
Yeah,
Naruto willingly did. But yeah,
yeah, four
I'm
out of
giving it a
five.
4. Yeah, I think we got both
Mm-hmm.
got 4s there.
The only thing that drags it down, I think, is the first like episode. Like, because I don't think I hate the first episode because nothing happens. Naruto kicks Gara and then he just stands there for like a whole episode,
It's not that
listening to
bad.
Gara. Huh?
It's not that bad though, because I think Gaara is an interesting enough character
Yeah, that's it. It's not
for
that
it to
bad.
be.
I'm just saying, like that's my biggest gripe with the fight. But yeah, also the speech after him crawling on the fucking ground, bro, always
Yeah,
sends shivers down my spine.
it does kind of look funny though, like him
It
crawling with
looks
his
funny,
chin.
yeah, it looks funny, but I can always look past it just because of the cold ass line that Naruto said. They saved me from
Oh yeah,
myself, and if that means I have to kill you, I will kill you. Basically,
yeah, and
yeah.
the whole fight is a big character moment. It's
Because
really
like
big.
that's a huge like character relief for him. Because like an arc before against Haku, he couldn't kill
He
Haku,
couldn't do it.
but he
Yeah,
was willing to kill Gara if he had to save Sakura.
which is really it's really huge for him.
Yeah, it shows his growth as a character.
Hmm.
Now on to Itachi versus everybody. Oh, and Kisame.
Yeah, I forgot Kisame existed. It's just really a showcase of both of them in the Akatsuki. There's nothing really else to say about it. Besides,
1.5.
yeah, 1.5. Although I feel like the Kakashi getting stabbed 15 times, I think that's turned into a pretty funny meme.
Yeah.
So like kind of got to give it a little more. But yeah, I think a 1.5 works.
Then we have Itachi versus Sasuke.
Okay, I actually really like this, but it's set
I
up.
really like this. Yeah.
Since it's set up and not really a fight that seems like it's even, I can't really give it anything higher than a 2 because it's like it's not actually a fight. It feels really one-sided. With that being said, it's cool setup and it speaks a lot to both characters, but
Hmm.
you can't really give it higher than a 2.
That's fine. I give it a 2 because later on when we see the peakness of their actual like real fight,
It's like
well,
payoff. It's payoff while being
yeah,
payoff, payoff, payoff.
because like this, like once again, Itachi versus Sasuke is the second most build up fight outside
Mhm.
of Naruto versus Sasuke.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yes, both fights have been built up since chapter like 1.
I think even a little
So
before that. No, not chapter 1. Oh, I'm fucking
yeah,
lying. But like,
no, well, Sasuke showed up in chapter 3, but still,
yeah,
besides
yeah,
the
yeah.
point, like, about the same amount of length, they both have been built up.
It's it's part of their character,
Yeah.
and I think that's why it's so important.
Now, do you want to do Tsunade versus Kabuto?
I don't know.
I
That's
think
hard.
it's like a
It'd be like a 1. Like it wouldn't be
that's a
bad.
1. Yeah, like it's a 1.
Yeah,
Like it's fine.
it's okay.
But Naruto versus Kabuto though,
That's a little different because that is payoff. Payoff I like
that's payoff.
that's really good payoff too, because not only is it like proving Tsunade wrong, but it's giving Naruto something else than shadow clones. And I think that's really important.
Well, he had the summoning jutsu, so
Yeah, but he was like he's stupid though. So
he
like
never used it.
yeah,
He never
he
used
really
it when
never
he should
uses
have.
it.
But yeah, this is a 3. It's a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I'd
Pretty
probably
good.
give it a 3 too.
Yeah, like seeing Naruto bust out the Rasengan for the first time will always
Yeah.
be peak.
Especially Kabuto's reaction to it where he's like, "Well, I put like chakra into my stomach." And
Yeah,
then
and
it
then he still
still like gets hurt.
yeah. Yeah, it still wasn't. He still couldn't stand afterwards.
Yeah, it shows how powerful that actually was.
Also, the aftermath. Once again, I guess I will always say that Tsunade is the best written character in Naruto, and he still fumbled it. Female character, and he
Yeah,
still fumbled her. Like that scene afterwards between her and Naruto, bro. Come on, dog. What a like, like, come on, man. Like, honestly, it should have been Tsunade to be his mentor, not fucking Jiraiya. I love Jiraiya, but like, come on, man.
I think it made
Him and
more sense for
Naruto,
Jiraiya.
it made more sense, but Jiraiya never got like the same emotional moment with Naruto.
I guess.
I think so because the only emotional moments you ever see them together is after he dies, which is like,
I think that speaks to their relationship, though.
yeah,
That he's more of a father figure.
that's true. But next is the three-way deadlock.
Yeah, I remember. I remember the last time we talked about this. It was like it was weird. You know, it almost
Yeah,
felt like I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said that I think it's cool potential.
had the
Like,
potential to be cool,
yeah, it
but
had the potential to be cool, but it kind of felt a little short.
yeah,
And I don't know, I
like
still stand by it.
it's a cool moment, but like I think it's a 2.5.
Yeah, I still think it's a 3. I like I just like the idea of it. You know, the
I like the idea
concept.
too.
And I can respect that.
I just don't because like it doesn't make Tsunade look any better, and it makes Orochimaru look the best. Like out of the three coming out of this fight, Orochimaru looks the best
I agree.
because he was able to take on two other Sonic with no arms and still
Yeah.
basically almost win that fight.
I think it's really
And
it shows how like shows the level of each Sonian.
yeah, but yeah, after this, it's let's see, it is Sasuke versus Naruto on the roof.
I mean, it's setup. Again, it's just setup.
Yeah,
So it's like I really only think the interesting part of this fight is the like water barrels
yeah,
and the like put your headband on. I think that's the only interesting part of these fight, like this whole thing.
yeah.
So I don't know. With that said, I think it's a 1.5, which is
I think it's a 1.5. But there's a
yeah,
reason why people barely mention this in these
yeah.
conversations.
It's like it's not like a it's not like a fight. It doesn't really feel like fully real.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't feel like the payoff that we've been waiting for yet.
Yeah.
It feels like the calm before the storm.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good
Yeah,
uh like description.
yeah. Then we have Sasuke versus the Sound Five. All right, now that we're here, now I can ask that question: which set of sound ninjas do you think is more interesting? The Sound Five, including if you want to include what's his name, Bone guy. I always
Bone.
forget his name. Yeah,
Uh
or
fuck.
the original trio.
I'm trying to think of that guy's name first. I don't I'm gonna look up the person's name so I can use him for
It's Kimimaru. There you go.
Kimimaro, thank you. That's actually really hard because I think Kimimaro is a lot more interesting than Dosu. Actually, yeah, I'd probably say Sound 5 now that I'm actually thinking about it.
Yeah,
Because I think Tayuya is better than Zaku and Keen combined.
yeah,
The person with the arrows, Kidomaru, he's pretty interesting. Like, I think like his ability's cool. I don't really
yeah,
care for the rest of them, but those
yeah.
two and then Kimimaru are three really interesting characters that
Yeah, like if you stack them against the other three, I kind of agree. I
yeah.
think I think Zaku barely manages to beat Spider God, only because he actually has a backstory.
Yeah, but
And
I think yeah, Tayuya
Tayuya beats King like no diff,
yeah.
and then Kimimaru beats Zosu. So it's like
Yeah.
they still win in the end.
And although I kind of like complain about Dosu not living enough, I I think that these like the Sound Ninja 5 actually just played their part. I
Yeah,
don't think they didn't need to go further. And I think that was very like very much prefaced. Like they're really only here now.
yeah, never brought up again.
Yeah.
Also, I'll state it when we get to that fight. I'll say one of these guys should have died in this arc. But let's see. So it's Sasuke versus the Sound Five. 1 star.
Yeah, one
Sasuke
star.
really just dicked on them.
It's I was going to say it feels like one continuous ass whooping,
That's what I'm
which
saying. Like
is
Sasuke really just dicked on them, and then they turned into curse marks, and that was it.
yeah, that's what I think it does show the curse marks power, but still it's like I don't know, it's just I think the cool part of this fight is before the fight even starts with Kakashi.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah,
the climax, and I think that overshadows this.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think but then again, That's because Kakashi is just a cool ass character,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
he's just like that.
Yeah. Then we have Choji versus Jirobo, my bad.
This fight's okay. It's like
It's
it's a two.
it's a two. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. Like I don't care about this fight. I never come back. This is easily the weakest fight,
yeah. It
like
does kind
actual
of
fight
build
in
up
the
as it
series.
goes on, like
Yeah,
with
but
the
it's the weakest. It's the weakest of the main event, not main
yeah,
event, but like of the main card of fights.
yeah. And it's one of the only fights besides what Neji's as well that doesn't have a sand ninja go with it. I
Yeah,
think.
it's this and Choji's don't.
Yeah, that makes
Everyone else
sense.
after this. Oh, talk about yeah. You're talking about this and Neji's. My bad. Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah.
Neji versus Hirimaru, actually pretty solid. I think it's a 3.5.
I think it's a three. I I can understand why you think it's a 3.5, and I get that. But I think it's a little dragged. I feel like it's a little longer than it needs to be. Now I don't remember how many episodes it is. I think it's technically three.
I
Technically.
believe it's three as well. I believe
Yeah.
it is three. But like I said, I enjoy it for what it is. I think it's really good. Like I said, give me a strategist, and I'm probably gonna love that fight.
Oh yeah, that's what I do like about. It's like Kidomaru is clearly smart.
Yeah,
It's like
he could tell he's the strategist of the five.
I think that's good.
And then we have Kiba versus Sakura and Ukron.
I'll let you go first.
Oh, are we adding the Conqueror part bit to it as well? We keeping it
No.
separate.
I
Okay, we're
think I
keeping it
think you
separate then.
I think actually if you add it together, it probably would make a lot more
Yeah.
sense.
Yes, because I was about to say if we add it together, then this fight's a bit better.
Mhm.
Because like I don't like the fight before Conqueror shows up, and that's sad because I don't like Conqueror or Kiba. So there's legitimately no reason to like this fight, but I think it's solid. So it's like a three. I think it's a three.
Yeah. I think it's like a 2.5. The main thing I really like about this fight is it tells Kiba, hey, stop fucking around with a dog. Cause swear every fight Kiba's in, somehow Akamaru gets hurt and not him. So
Also, I'm gonna state it. Let me say it. Let me spit it. Kiba should have died here.
I don't think he should have died. Uh, I disagree with that. I think I've gone back and forth with agreeing with that opinion, like more and more recently. And I
Because
don't know. I don't think he should have.
let me explain why I think Kiba should have died. Because everybody else on the team, besides maybe Choji, has something else, has a story they can continue with. Kiba didn't really have anything after this. Like after this, what was Kiba really going to work for it?
I guess.
And I feel like because like if Kiba died, it would make Naruto's decision to still chase after Sasuke hit more deep because he'd have to explain to people, yeah, because Sasuke left the village, one of their own died. It adds more layers to that conflict.
Yeah, but I think doing that would make it so Tsunade really had no choice but to kill Sasuke.
And I think that's fine. I think that's a fine. That's a fine. Once again, have Naruto and Tsunade have the butt heads.
I don't know how I feel about that. I can see why you think
I
that, but I just don't agree.
I don't know. I just think it adds more layers because up to that point, up until like baby they kidnapped B, Sasuke did do anything wrong. Yet people were treating him like he was a bad person.
Hmm.
That's what I was trying to say. That's my biggest problem. They were treating him like a bad person up to that point. He hadn't really done anything wrong. He killed Orochimaru. He killed a couple of Akatsuki members. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because like, at least this way they can at least have the argument that, oh, Sasuke is the reason why one of our own died. So they'd be like, well, yeah, he might have done these good things, but because of him, Kiba died. Boom. At least give Kiba something to have.
Yeah, I see that. But I
Because
mean,
like,
giving Kiba something to have by killing him.
hey man. Sometimes some characters gotta be fridge. That's all I'm gonna say. Because let's keep it a buck. That's all Asuma has too. What do you mean?
Yeah,
We only care about Asuma because he died.
and I don't know. I think the current I think is not bad either.
Huh?
The thing where like he's dating Kurna.
I mean, yeah, but even then, he still died, and that's what people actually give a shit about
Yeah,
Asuma.
I guess yeah.
But yeah, overall, I also think this is a peak for both of these characters. After this, both Conqueror and Kiba don't go anywhere after this,
Uh,
especially Conqueror. Because next time we see Conqueror, he's getting shitted on by other people that are better at his own gimmick. Next is Shikamaru and Tamari versus Tayuya.
again, I'm biased with this because like two of my favorite characters, actually three of my favorite characters that are like I know one's a one off, but it's like three characters that I really like going against like each other essentially.
Yeah,
It makes it really enjoyable for me. So Although I don't think my pick or my rating should really tell you how good this fight is. I'm gonna give it a 4 just because I love all the characters in it.
See, I was gonna give it a 3.5 because I think it's really good, but I just feel like it drags just a little bit
Yeah, usually
at the
I'm
start.
like usually I'm pretty annoyed by that, but since it is characters I like, I don't really care.
As I was saying, like you like all the characters in the scene. I only
Yeah.
like two of them. Like I don't really like Tyree like that. So
Mhm.
also her dub voice is so annoying. I'm not even gonna lie with you. So do you want to do Naruto versus Kimaru?
It's not really a fight. I feel like
Yeah, he literally just dicks on some clothes and then
smart.
Lee jumps in.
Yeah, I don't think we'd count it.
Okay. Do you want to count Lee versus Kimaru and Gara versus Kimaru as separate fights?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. Okay. So what do you give Drunken Lee?
I don't think the gimmick's honestly that funny, but I can move past that and probably still give this like a 4.
A 4. Huh? I was gonna give it a 3.
Yeah, I still think it's like because I like the choreography and all that, even though
Yeah,
I
I think the
don't.
choreography is great.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it. I think Dragon Ball had a better Drunken Fist reference than Naruto.
I think it's just like I think the idea of like again two characters shutting up and fighting, and especially these
Yeah,
two where it's like they really are just like hand to hand people. I guess it's like hand to bone, but still, you know what I mean? It's
I
like
get what
where
you're saying.
yeah, and having those two just go at each other is really cool.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
All right, next is are we gonna? You said you're gonna give it a 3, right?
Yeah, and then what about Gara versus Kiwimaru?
This is a little more confusing with me. I kind of struggle with this one a little more than Lee. The only thing I really like about this fight, besides like I think the action's obviously cool because at this point in Naruto, there's really no like weak fight. But
Yeah,
I think the action's obviously cool. But what I really like about this fight is that it's Gar that's going to help Lee. I think that's the good part of this fight.
yeah, it ends off their storyline together.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's a 4.5 because it adds to it. Because like I think the action's like somewhat on par, but it's the
I think
emotional part too.
it's a 4. I think it's a 4.
Yeah,
Only because I don't know how I feel about the chemistry between Gara and Kiwimaru. That's really my only thing. That's really my only thing with it.
I can see that. It
Think
does feel a little
I
awkward.
think yeah. I think Gara and Lee have carried this fight in terms of chemistry. Like I feel like if Kimaru had gotten more of a chance to show off like an actual personality, these fights would be better than they actually are.
Yeah, I can respect that.
And then we got the final one. Do we really want to say it? Like once again, it's another
Yeah,
one of these.
yeah. It's like it's a 0.5. Like,
Of course, bro. No,
bro,
it's
I'd dead ass
no,
rather
it's
take the
the
giant snake fight because that shit's
of
actually a
course,
5.
man. Of course, my guy. Nah, but like for real though, this is the best fight in the series in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
I don't know if it not of all time of the series in all of Naruto. I do not agree, and I know you think this is the
really.
best out of all Naruto,
Yes. I there's only two other fights I see in the same conversation.
which is the part 2, the Final Valley one, and then
And then Kakashi versus Obito. Those are the only two other fights I see in the same conversation.
yeah. I mean, I think those three are pretty close to each other. I still think the part 2 Final Valley is better, just because I think it's a lot more emotional because it's more build up.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I like this fight more because I think seeing it for the first time, it was more of a bigger impact, as well as, like I said, I think the choreography is better here. I don't like that Naruto ended up just becoming like giant blasts and
yeah.
stuff. And the fight only gets really good towards like it's good in the start. I don't like the middle, and then the end is really great for that fight.
For part 2.
Yeah, for the part two,
Okay.
for the final Valley fight. I think that's how I feel. While this fight, I think is more consistent.
I mean, both fights
Uh,
are amazing, and
yeah,
I mean this the part 1 fight is still insane, and I think out of part 1 Naruto, yes, it is the best fight, and I don't think that's a question. I think Gar versus Rock Lee makes it a little close, but still the emotional side, the actual fighting, the spectacle at the end,
the
I think it's
chemistry.
yeah, the chemistry, everything building up to this, it's like it's not even a debate. This is the best fight.
Yeah. Also, for those guys that are coming in the comments, what about Itachi versus Sasuke? Hey man, that fight's good too. It's just not in this conversation. Sorry, buddy. It's a cheer below. Unfortunately, that fight's really good. My only problem is the stuff that surrounded that fight. kind of makes it. I'll talk about it when we get to that point. When we get to that fight, whenever we talk about
Yeah.
that fight, I'll talk about my thoughts on that fight. But yeah, we only gave like 2 fights a 5 star, and I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think because we gave a lot. Again, I don't know about your rating, but mine's if it's a 2 out of 5, it's good.
See, mine is if it's a 3 out of if it's a 3 out of 5, it's good. Anything below is like either mid or bad. That's just how I see it.
Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
anti-American grading system. I go by mine, so
That's fine. That makes sense.
yeah.
But yeah, that's our ratings for all these fights. Let us know in the comments how you feel about it. Once again, thank you, Esseme, for coming on the channel.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure to have you. What would you like people who made it this far in the video to comment below?
Comment what your least favorite fight is and why, and then what's your most favorite fight, and then tell us why you're right.
Also, tell us why it is the snake fight. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. This has been Metal Man and Esseme. Later.
Blue's Clues is better than Ben 10.